And welcome back to 843 TV, our special Spring Sports Outlook episode. And joining us now is BrettMacy. He is the athletic director of May River High School. And Brett, you have been there since day one.
Have been.
Yes.
Been a long journey, but fun.
5th year now. So you've had the opportunity to build a school and athletic program from ground up until now, and it's been very successful with so many teams over the years. So that's got to be a great accomplishment. So congratulations to you and your staff there.
Appreciate it.
That make that work.
So it's been a long 5 years, but we're here and we're in a good spot. So time to move forward, and it's been fun.
Great. Well, as you know, everyone, it's been a tough 12 months, starting with last spring and everything being shut down. So let's talk about some challenges that you're looking at facing now as you start a new spring sports semester.
So obviously, the COVID-19 restrictions and regulations that we've gone through, actually, hopefully in the springtime, obviously still restrictions, but used to them, understand them. Coming out of the winter sports season where everything's inside and confounded, to a gym per se, hopefully getting outside and the weather warming up, the kids, just more naturally spread out in spring sports, hopefully, helps obviously the cause. We have less shutdowns, but our procedures will be very similar. Obviously, when we started, a lot of unknowns in the fall season, and football being a major player in the fall and a lot of people attending those events, had to be careful of, how we did that, how people entered the gates, and that was all new to us because we knew those situations would be over the Governor McMaster's limit of 250 people gathering. It's a little bit different after the fall, going into the winter, a little smaller crowds on most nights, but still that 250 person limit was, there. And in the spring sports, again, we have to recognize that. We have to be cautious. We've taped off bleachers, hoping where people sit and wear their masks and just try to, limit that spread as much as possible. Feel like we've done a good job with that, not just at May River, but all Beaufort County and really all across the country with schools and sports. As I think more data comes in, it seems like the COVID-19 is not being spread at school or through sports as much as it is at other locations. So that's obviously a positive from our perspective.
What did we miss out on last year without spring shark athletics?
Well, obviously our shark athletes didn't have closure. And I think, anything in life, whether it be sports, personal, business, work, is you want that closure. And our spring seniors didn't get that specifically to their careers. And that's, a sad thing. And obviously it's unavoidable. So our hearts go out to that, just not at May River, but, all of our spring athletes. As a program wise, I think you look at probably boys track and soccer, we're going to have a good chance to defend those state championship that they won a couple years ago. So obviously you miss out on that opportunity. You just miss out on, the busyness of spring. And sometimes it's a big headache for athletic directors, just a million things going on, but it's also fun. It's outside, you see different, a lot more different sports. And so it was missed, and glad we have it back, and, we'll get through it this year just like we have, the fall and winter season. So we're excited for that.
And I think too important to note, just for the mental health and just, not besides physical, mental health of everything in order and just the opportunity to compete and play and is so important. So
and that's important for, obviously adults and coaches, but more so for the teenagers. We can get into all sorts of different topics about that, but they need that. They need that more than anything. And so I'm glad we can give that to them this year, and, looking forward to the competition, and it's going to be fun.
Has the timeline changed at all for the spring sports?
There's a few tournaments, and the track state championships have been pushed back a week, but we got started. The high school league, South Carolina High School League, got started the same time, February 1st. Obviously, we're all dealing with the rain and the cold. It's been terrible weather. But aside from that, that timeline as far as starting has changed, but we've pushed a couple playoffs back just a week or two. And I think that's in anticipation of possibly canceled region games and then making them up. We see that in winter. We've had to do that. We added a region basketball tournament that you've seen, and we did that just because of the inconsistencies of who played who, how many games one team played in comparison to another. So and it's a smart move to kind of push that back in the spring just in case we need some make-up time and all that due to COVID. But, we're prepared, and it should be fun.
Now, we were talking earlier about the changes in the size of the school at May River. You started out as 3A, moved into 4A, and now your school's built on. You're prepared for a lot of growth. So talk about that, maybe the growth potential, where you might think you might find yourself maybe in a year from now athletically.
Yeah, so we started as a small 3A. I think we had 70 seniors in year one, and now it's probably, it's over 300. That growth, we just opened up our wing this week, the ribbon cutting. The kids have been in it since we came back from winter break. Hopefully we stay 4A. I'd like to stay 4A. Hilton Head, Bluffton, Beaufort, us are all 4A, along with a couple other schools, and we're familiar with each other. Geographically, it's close. I believe we'll remain in 4A, hopefully for the rest of the time. Beaufort County likes to keep their schools in that 15 to 1,800 range, and that's kind of where we'll be at here in a couple years, and hopefully we can stay the course and remain in this region. Because like I said, it's good competition, it's a solid region, and it's for the most part close. With kids,
yes.
We got to think about travel as well. A lot of weekday games for every sport, and traveling to Charleston or the Columbia area in 5A competition is not good for academics. It's not good for them getting back at 11 or midnight, on a road trip, and vice versa for those other schools that would have to come down to us. So we have to keep that in mind as well at a high school league level. But, that's out of our hands. We just do what we can do, and we like where we're at right now.
Right. Student first, athlete second, right?
Correct.
Student athlete.
Absolutely correct.
Well, that's all the time we have, but we're excited to have you come down today, and we're all excited to get outside and see the spring sports. And so you all get out to May River High School and check out all the wonderful events going on soon. Talk to BrettMacy if you have any questions. Check out your website, mayriverathletics.com,
Yep.
on Twitter for sure. And so, Brett, thanks for joining us. You all stay here. We'll be back with more.